Hiya muckers, welcome back to John's Random Reviews. Grinders and bandsaws today or tonight or whatever, this morning, whenever you watch this video. I've been working with a Sparky friend on a job and I said, have you got any broken makita stuff? And he said, yeah, I'll bring some in. Now the bandsaw, it's running, but it keeps on throwing the bands off. Something to do with these were worn, these little rubber bits. Well, that's another time and another video. I'm getting new rubber bits and just to check that out properly. But this grinder, it looks similar to other ones I've tried to fix. I've got a good record of fixing these. He said it's not running at all. When you press a trigger, it just makes a little pulse. So I thought, yeah, 50 quid. Well, I'll tell you what crack is. I tell you what, this is how much money Sparkies have. He said, oh, just have him. You know what I mean? He's such a nice guy. He said, just have him. I said, no, I'm not having that. I'm not having that. I'm not getting freebies. So I said, how about 50 quid for both? He said, that's sound. So I'm keeping this bandsaw. So that's bloody worth it straight away, just that. But if I can get this working, it'll be a rarity for my fucking channel, I tell you. But it's possible. But one of the other reasons I've kind of wanted this, not because of this bit, it's an X-lock grinder, as you can see. It's got the little, how does that work? Like that, the lock switch. And then it's got this funny arrangement there. It snaps onto the blade. You have to have special X-Locks blades to go onto here. Now, personally, I don't think Makita sell a right lot of these. Because, yeah, it might be like, I don't know, 10 seconds quicker putting the blades on and rather having either the tool or the system or the thingy to do it. Anyway, or do it the daft way that I did at one time. I just hand tied it. Don't do that. But X-Locks blades are very, very expensive. So they might be a little bit quicker to take the blade on and off. But I think they're maybe way over double the price, maybe even 3 times the price of a normal cutting blade or grinding blade or sort of sanding disc or whatever you call it. They're just absolutely, I think the cheapest I've found some is about 3 quid, no, £2.50 maybe each, but you have to buy 5 of them, so yeah. Maybe 2 quid, but chronically expensive. So I was going to order some the other night, but I thought, well, I better hang fire, because if I can't get this thing to run, I need to make sure it bloody works first before I actually buy some discs for it. I might keep it. I don't know. I might sell it on. I don't know yet. But it's another excuse for making a Makita video. Right, I've got it stripped down a little bit. This is like a cautionary tale, so some would say I'm trying to give you advice out there. I do know my shit a little bit, and some of it is a little bit fucking guesswork, but nevertheless, I'm trying to help all the tradies out there. Why is this grinder very expensive? Grinder, how much are these new? Oh, could be 160, 170 quid, something like that. Maybe bit cheaper, maybe a bit more expensive, especially since it's an X-Locks one. Anyway, very expensive bit of kit. Yeah, so what's up with it? Well, you'll see in a minute what it is. I kind of knew as soon as I started peeking under the clamshell what the problem was. I'll flip it over like that. It's absolutely caked inside with presumably, well, I think it is brick dust. Look at the state of it. All mashed in, right into the switch. So, whoever's had this grinder, he's been cutting channels with it. He's put a diamond disc on. He's been cutting channels down the wall for probably conduit or something like that. So, when that happens, obviously you get a big ball of dust. I doubt these people are having they might, even if you have a vacuum with it, you're still going to get a lot of dust about. So grinders hate dust, absolutely hate dust. These kind of grinders work so powerfully that they need a lot of air to cool the brushless motors down. So the air is meant to come from the back here. So you can see that Makita very kindly have put like a mesh on. So that's to stop the dust getting into it and dragging it up. But I'll show you in a minute There's hardly any white brick dust at the back there. It's all in this area. So what's going on? Well, what's going on is when you have a big ball of dust here, and then the air wants to be sucked through the motor and out the front here, it's getting dragged in here, just by the switch. There's little sort of gaps in the clamshell. That's where it's gonna. So there's a big ball of dust, and then it's all swirling around. It's going woof straight into the switch. So it could be the switch that's knackered, but obviously from this end on, there isn't a lot going on. It's all on this end. So all the dust kind of circulates around and goes in there. Then it clogs up there also, and then you forget to clean it out, and then the whole thing's fucked. But I'll take it off again. I'm hoping it's the switch. But don't ask me what this little thing is here. I haven't got a fucking clue what that is. But I'm hoping it's the switch, because when I've looked at a little bit at all the wiring and everything, and I've had some grinders that are kind of all melted in bits of these, so I thought, and it's got none of that. But hang on, if I can get this out. Look how caked that is. It's got a little bit of delamination on the end, but it's all caked. So what I was thinking, muckers, these grinders with the big brains, yeah, it's got a very sophisticated brain. It'll protect the tool, so they'll cut out. If the blade gets jammed, it'll stop the machine. And then you'll have to release the trigger, release what the problem is, and then it'll start again. It's not a problem. But with it all getting so caked up with brick dust, I'm thinking it's all nipped on here and stopping it turning. And if it can't turn, the brain goes, shut me off. So that's what it's doing with that. When they press the trigger, the guy said it just made a little boom, boom. It was trying to turn this bit, the rotor or the stator, whichever the fuck that is, but then the brain was stopping. The brain actually might have saved the machine. But anyway, I'm going to give it a good clean out, so in the next bit, it's going to look a lot fucking more cleaner there. Let's have a look at that again. Christ! I've seen worse. Honest to fuck. I've seen worse. I don't know wonder what that bit is. That's interesting as well, a little bit. And that little bit there looks like something should go in there. Anyway, it's exciting, isn't it? It's exciting. Yeah, there's a lot going on. All these bloody wires. Why do they have to be so bloody complicated? I know some of them is safety features, but bloody hell, come on. Do you know what I mean? There's just more to go wrong. Like I said, I've had one of these before that was completely fucked. And what it was, this bit is all melted and one thing, and you can't buy it all like this bit and this bit and this bit separate, new from Makita. And I think this setup here all comes in one, because they don't want you to buy the separate bits. So what happens is you have to end up, I think they're fucking about 90 quid for that lot. So that, yeah, you'd be able to fix the grinder, but even if it's that free grinder or 25 quid grinder doesn't seem so good anymore. But it would make it, I suppose, into a new grinder. But if you could pinpoint which bit was broken and they had like connectors on them, some of them do. But no, you can't buy the separate bit. They don't want you to, do they? They don't want you to be messing about fixing a bit of it. They want you to buy a new bloody grinder. But I think that Makita, they did it. I know it has its faults, this grinder, but it is an icon. The old what is it? The old DJA 452. I've talked about this bloody too much on my channel. Oh my god, it is an icon, a Makita icon. I bet there's still bloody millions of these doing the work day in day out, working. Because if they go knackered, you can just buy bits of it. Do you know what I mean? And it doesn't have a massive. It has a little brain in this. It has a little brain, and it has a little safety features in this thing. But it's a lot simpler than that bloody thing. There's probably a quarter of the wires in there. But I think there's other videos on my channel there's one of these apart if you want to have a look at that. Bloody hell, sounded like a bloody real YouTuber then, didn't I? Christ, I'll have to fucking stop that. But anyway, I think Makita needs to update this. This has always been a bit sort of like easier to use than the newer ones, the newer 18-volt brushless grinders. I think they should update this a little bit, maybe change the clamshell and just update it a little bit. That would be awesome. Makita, if you're listening, let's see a sort of new version of this. They're still in production, these. Bloody hell, been in production for... Anyway, I'm not waffling on about that anymore. I've got to get this fucker cleaned. I thought I'd better not blast these off in the missus's studio. There's bloody dust everywhere. So I've got the blaster, the Makita XGT air blower. And we'll give these a bit of a blast, see if we can get most of that dreaded brick dust off these parts. Bloody hell. Doing a bloody good job, I'll give you that. There we bloody go. Let's get inside. Bloody freezing. When I'm old and grey, and my kids have shoved me in the old people's home, they'll sit me next to some old gadge, probably that's similar to me, maybe. Let's hope I still have my hair. There'll be a couple of old gadgets there. Me and this dude. And the dude will go, what have you achieved in your life? What was some of the big moments? And I'll say, well, no, you tell me first. We'll have to have a think about it. So he said, well, I made a lot of money. You know, up the corporate ladder. Yeah, made a lot of money. Brought up a family, big house, journeys, adventures when the kids grow up. On the Amazon and on safari. Pretty cool stuff. What have you been doing, he says. Well, mainly I've been taking Makita grinders apart and scrubbing the insides of the clamshell with a toothbrush. You know what he'd say? You know what he'd say to me? After, sounds like he had an awesome life. He'd say, fucking hell, that sounds awesome. There's something about it, something about, I don't know, making sure it's all cleaned out. Same with car, I guess it's the same with car folk or anything like that. You know, bit of OCD maybe. But it's all good. It's clean. Actually, tell you the fucking truth. Look, I scrubbed it a bit, and yeah, it's not an old grinder. It's 3.5 years old or whatever. But look at how shiny the inside of the clamshell. Now I've got. You can see like towards the back end. All it's just picking up on the little bits of rubber overmold, TPE overmolding that goes in, holds it to the clamshell. But it's pretty bloody clean, isn't it? Let's give that a bit of a scrub. We've got a lot of it off all the wiring loom. Bloody hell, that sounds complicated, doesn't it? Anyway, all these are guided in little sort of like slots in the clamshell. Luckily, I've taken some fucking photos, so I remember where all this shit goes. But the question is, do I put it all back together and then try it? Or do I fuck about with the switch a bit? Get that split? Because I'm actually, tell you, fucking hell, honestly, I'm quite, I know about these. Don't know about fucking much, but I know about how these operate. And it doesn't sound right. So I'm hoping it's going to be the switch, and not knackered switch, like a mechanical issue that I can fix. And then we'll get it back together. But, don't know. Yeah, we'll see, won't we? Well, not so good news about the switch. On previous videos, I've done a little bit of a talk about the switch, and it's got this contactor here. That contacts a little spot in there. I don't know if you can see. It's on like a rocker. That sits in there. If I can get it in right. Hang on. Bear with me. There. Right, you see how that sits like that? That's off. And that's on. It was all a bit gummed up, but it's not in bad shape really. So I've cleaned everything else out. Well, yeah. So I don't know at the moment. It's a bit an unknown. Like I said, all this seems all right, but who knows if it's blown the brain box. I might have to have a look at this tomorrow or something. I don't know. I'm in a bit of a funny mood today. Yeah, my brother's fallen off his push bike. Bloody hell! You should see his head. He's looking scraped half his head away with bloody on the tarmac. But next question you're gonna fucking ask is, did he have a helmet on? No, he didn't. Fucking hell, he's gonna wear one now. Fucking getting himself brain damage. He's all right. He's got a little bit of concussion, and he's had a CAT scan and whatnot. And he's just and he's got to have on it above his eyebrow. Let's say that's his eye, and his eyebrows here or whatever. He's got a massive scrape there. It's all the skin split away. He's got to have plastic surgery in a week's time. Bloody hell. So there we go. I'm a bit discombobulated, but it's kind of like, in a funny sort of way, it's kind of like, because I don't hate it when, it makes you think about the fundamentals when something like that happens, do you know what I mean? And how important family is. Now, family's not all about blood. Family can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. But, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just think, I don't know. You know what I mean? It was so delicate. Life is so delicate sometimes. And anyway, bloody hell, what are we doing? Oh yeah, makita grinder. Now then, I know you're all asking. Well, maybe one person is asking, John, are you going to try taking the X-lock mechanism apart? Well, maybe. I've already taken them two. If I took this the head bit off it would just have the worm gear at the end. You have to undo these 4 Allen bolts to get the actual... It might all spring apart, springs everywhere. Sprung everywhere. It's got a little bit of blue paint on that. That must mean something. I'll probably take it... Oh, it's got a little picture. Anyway, I probably am going to... Let's be fucking straight. This video's fucking going on enough anyway, but we might as well do another video. The header spell. We've got the whole fucking thing apart. Right, okay. So for now, progress has been made. We've got rid of all the brick dust, but we still don't know if it's going to work, and we're going to attempt to take the head of this X-Locks grinder apart for crack. Okay, see you next time. What do we say? Random is rad. Rock on.